everyone, and welcome to Pocket Knockers. Today, we're doing something we've never done before. We're doing a live recording of a podcast, and we've got, of course, on top, right above me, Stu the Brummie. How's it going, Stu?
Hello, it's going delightfully well, thank you. How are you both?
Well, this isn't the intro for the podcast, just to clarify. This is the intro for the stream. There will be another intro to follow.
Oh, brilliant. That's great.
I have to introduce myself again.
No. Oh, well, yeah, you will. Fucking hell.
Yeah, you will.
You're making this difficult.
But don't worry, Stu. You fucked up so badly that time, you'll have a chance to recoup and do it again.
I'll try. I'll try.
Well, don't try too hard. You know, usually when I try too hard, you just do a poo.
You burst into flames.
Something along those lines, yeah. How's everyone been today?
I had a kebab last night and I was on the toilet about 3 times before I could get to sleep. Great.
Do you have everything after you've had a kebab? You get ka-farts, ka-shits, ka-sick?
Yeah, so I had a kebab and then I had a dirty poo. Then I went downstairs and then I had a stream on, Twitch, not talking about
I was going to say, yeah.
And then after that, I went to bed and I was like, I'm knackered. I'm lying down. As soon as I lay down, I got comfortable. I just was this, and I went, okay, I've got to go now. And I went for about 5 minutes later. I came back and when I lay down, another 5 minutes, it just went again. I was like, fucking hell. I think it was the chili sauce.
More than likely. I get really bad curb heartburn if we're using that. Joke, heartburn, sickness, and reflux.
Well, Ed and I both suffer with that too. Ed, on a more medical way, where he's asleep and then he gets lumps of it in his mouth, which is great.
Yeah, I choke in my sleep. It's great.
Have you got a hernia, Ed?
No. It's I think I've got a dodgy flappy valve or something.
Because
it just comes up.
I've got hiatus hernia, and that's one of the things. So you might have one of them.
I guess without further ado, shall we just do another intro for podcast?
Fucking hell. Make it easy. Okay.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Pocket Knockers podcast. It's episode 16, and we got Stu the Brummie with us. Lovely stuff. Oh, and Ed, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks.
Lovely.
Yeah, lovely intro. I can't wait to
Thank you very much.
Have you ever had a kebab, Ed?
Have I ever had a kebab?
Yeah. Have you thought about having a kebab?
Have you ever?
I had one last night, actually. And
did you?
Yeah. I shat through the irony.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got an Erie and Downer t-shirt on.
Yeah, that's funny. Tell us all fucking about it.
Well, when I wear this t-shirt, I get terrible heartburn and reflux because I've got a hiatus hernia.
Does that mean it's on holiday?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's on hold. They shouldn't call it a hiatus hernia because it's all the time. It's never on hold, if anything.
Yeah. Which brings me to our series. Oh, series? Well, that's that. That's what we're doing, everyone, today. It brings me to the topic of today's podcast, which is indeed not only series, but ones that took place between the 1960s and the year 2000. Yes, some old ones coming in there. I can already feel the gestation happening in people's minds about all the wonderful things that took place during those years on television. Stu, please do tell us, why did you choose that particular generation? Because that was without prompt. That was without me saying, well, we've actually done a series one with Aidan before. There was none of that. You just went, no, you're going to have only those years and you'll fucking deal with it.
Yeah, well, I wanted to choose sitcoms, and then I kind of thought that I might be possibly out of the loop the last few years with sitcoms, so I'll pick a nice range of years. I don't know why I picked the 60s, but I suppose I was just thinking about like Hancock's Half Hour, and
I guess
Don't
that's
Be
when the
Justice.
BBC really kicked back into gear. Properly. I mean, I can't think of anything pre 1960. And when did they come back on the air? Was it was it? I can't remember when it was actually, because I know it was after World War II. They started just days before World War II kicked off, and then they went off the air until the end. And I can't remember when they came back now.
Me neither. But I just thought, I mean, I probably should have gone 70s onwards, but again, there is some great stuff from the 60s.
I'm glad you didn't, because there will be one on my list that is from the 60s.
Excellent.
So, there you go. What's the early? What do you reckon Mike? What do you reckon the earliest time for a comedy series you'd remember?
There's a bit of a weird question, because if you mean what's the oldest comedy series that was current at the time of me watching it would probably be The Fast Show.
Okay, yeah, I think I'd be with you on that. Yeah,
The Fast Show was 94. And I used to be able to get away with watching that because it didn't have swearing in it. So it was all just fun. A lot of the sort of adult jokes and everything within it, I obviously had no idea what was going on, but my parents would laugh and I would go, isn't that funny, Daddy?
The one from The Fast Show I'm thinking would be awkward is the naturist couple.
Yeah.
When we're in next door and hello. That's it.
Yeah. I tell you what, we could do our lists, couldn't we? Round one, the good ones. We could, not the series, we could talk about the ones that are on a list, and then that would answer your question, would it not?
I guess it would. That's a ruddy good idea. It's like I almost planned that segue, which I did not.
Do love a segue.
All right, we'll start with your wheel then. So
my wheel.
Your wheel. Go through the list.
So, first of all, it's The Fast Show, 1994. Red Dwarf coming in at 1988. But I didn't watch that until I was in my 20s, I don't think.
I remember they started repeating it in the mid-90s, which is when I caught it. They used to show it, I think it was like 9 o'clock on a Friday night on BBC Two. Repeating it. That's when I started catching it.
Very specific there, Edward. I think it was at 9 o'clock on BBC Two, just after I don't know, fucking what the hell else was on BBC Two at night? Top Gear? No, yeah, that would have been BBC Two at that point.
If it was mid to late 90s, it could possibly have been Bottom followed by The High Life, or the other way round.
I remember they used to show Bottom as well. They used to do Good Friday Night Comedy, like comedy repeats. That's Bottom. I think that's where I caught the young ones as well, actually.
Yeah. They had some Fist of Fun that was on around that time. I'm sure it was Fist of Fun followed by The Fast Show, or maybe the other way around.
I think The Fast Show used to be on Tuesdays or Thursdays, and I know it's a weird. I remember this is because my mum used to go out those nights, and then me and the old man, we used to watch shit like The Fast Show.
That's nice. Those are nice memories, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I've got very fond memories of Fast Show for that reason.
My dad used to. Sorry if I'm rambling. My dad and I used to rent like The Young Ones and Red Dwarf and Blackadder and stuff like that, and watch them when I'd go and stay with him. So like kind of British sitcom comedy is, I've got a kind of really good affinity with that, and again, there's some nice memories associated to those.
Yeah, Papa.
I'll be sure to play violin music on that.
We also have The Good Life. I don't know where I started watching The Good Life. I absolutely loved it though. That was 1975. That came out.
They repeated that in the 90s. I remember it. So I think it would probably be when you did it. I can't remember when it was. But yeah.
Friends, 1994. We all know what that is. Last of the Summer Wine, 1973. I'm Alan Partridge. To be honest, I thought this started in like 2001 or whatever it was, but it was actually 97. Fawlty Towers, 1975. I was really fucking through the roof to get this one on the list. Jackass. The first episode aired November 2000.
Oh, okay.
Jammy Git.
Black Books, 2000 again, and Father Ted, 95. And I do have some honorable mentions because when I was first compiling this list, I thought it was like decades, right? So I thought I could get away with like up to 2010. Mm-hmm. And that meant that I could have had my absolute favourites, such as IT Crowd, Mighty Boosh, even Little Britain, even though it hasn't aged very well. But back in the day when it was on TV, I remember everyone just being in school and just yar but no but and all that fucking shit. It was the best. And Ideal as well. But that was they're all
Ideal.
2003 to 2006.
I fucking love you, Michael, because I wanted to bring Ideal up. Ideal is the one where I thought I can't put it in the list. And I actually watch it every fucking year, back to back. I fucking love it. Yeah,
it's quite short, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, there was actually quite more series than you remember.
Really?
I can't remember how many. 5, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah,
I guess it's because they're just shorter episodes. Nowadays, we used to series being like 45 minutes, an hour an episode. Yeah. When you go back and watch something that's like 20, 25 minutes without adverts, that you could just finish a series off. Mine was The Mighty Boosh. That one was when I was younger. It characterized me. I absorbed it. It was unique. It was funky. It had loads of shit going on. It related to that alternative scene that I was in. And I absolutely love it to this day. Yeah. And I can't fucking have it in this podcast.
If we could, I looked for another one and I thought if we could have done it, if I could have done it, I would have put it in just to piss people off because I enjoyed it. And that's 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. Because I know everyone loves to fucking hate that.
No, I loved it sincerely. Absolutely great.
The only thing I remember about that is there was an episode where he gets really excited that his girlfriend's going out so that he can have a wank.
Yeah.
That is literally that. That is the only episode I think I've ever seen of that show because
they did a Halloween zombie apocalypse one. They did it
really?
Yeah.
I'm just a curmudgeon, I think. There's things like that. Oh dear. How I Met Your Mother and stuff.
I fucking hate I hate that, How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, good. There we go.
But 2 pints has become one of those ones that it's cool to hate. And yes, it's fucking, it's corny, it's shallow, it's crass, and I love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember one of my favorite jokes. They called Johnny called his son Corinthian, and he was sneaking off, to go to the pub. I can't remember, but his wife, who's Sheridan Smith, is doing absolutely amazing. By the way, love her. Was in the kitchen doing the washing up or whatever, and he just goes, "I'm just going to take Corinthian to the."
Yeah.
So you're just like, yeah, okay then.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I need to revisit that.
Definitely. And Ed, your good list, sir.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll just don't go past when Ralph Little left and you're good because it was rubbish after that.
Yes. They did, in fairness to them, they did actually name the episode Jumping the Shark, didn't they? Well, that's how he died, sorry.
Yeah, because they took the old Jumping the Shark, which was from, what was that from?
Happy Days.
Happy Days, yeah. They did that. He went on holiday and he had a skiing for a skiing event in America where he had to jump over a shark and then he got eaten by the shark off screen.
Oh, that's pretty genius, to be fair.
Because they knew exactly what they were doing. Yeah.
I love Ralph Little. He's
very good. He disappeared. They always kept talking about doing a reunion. Maybe they did, and I just watched it.
They did a couple of things on social media where they were sat in the set of what was their pub called? I can't remember now. Was it the?
Hang on, The Archer.
Yes,
because
it was The Archer.
Because in the first series you had the Mayhew and the Archer, which was named after the producer. Was it Paul Mayhew Archer? Which is why.
Oh, right, okay. I know that if you find that on Google Maps now, it's actually like a Buddhist center.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was like a Chinese restaurant for a while, and
You know what these sets like? It was a pub back in the day, but they've changed it. But in answer to your question that you almost asked, Stu, Mighty Boosh was 2003.
Right. No, I was going to say, when was the radio show on?
Radio show was before that. Yes,
right,
radio show was, I think, late 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let me just have a little 98.
98. That's mad, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
a lot earlier than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent about the Mighty Boosh. I absolutely loved it up until series 3, and then when Noel Fielding turned into Noel Fielding, which probably makes no sense, but it does in my head.
Yeah.
When the whole King of the Goth thing, I kind of lost it a little bit along there. But I absolutely love the first 2 series. I've got fond memories of them. But
was the third series when they weren't in the shop, but they were just in the flat? Did I talk over you?
Yeah, you talked over a good joke.
Yeah. The third one's where they had got the shop with the flat. The first one was in the zoo. And what's this? I can't remember where the second one was.
They were in the shop, Naboo-porium or something like that.
Yeah.
Naboo-tea, that's it, yeah.
I absolutely love Julian Barrett. Like, everything he's in, like Mindhorn and just, it's all fantastic.
Have you watched Flowers?
I have watched Flowers. It's amazing.
That made me cry.
Yeah, he's absolutely incredible in that. And I just think he's fantastic. And Noel Fielding, I can take or leave him. I have peaks and troughs with him. A little bit like, almost like, not that they're the same at all, but Russell Brand. Sometimes I think, I do quite like him, and then I think, no, I don't like him, and then they're kind of intertwine. But the Mighty Boosh first 2 series, brilliant.
I am with you. For the third series, for me, you are absolutely right. They do get worse as it goes on. But I think looking back at it, the way I felt then was at least they're still doing it. And I will just absorb anything they do. But it's quite plain to see that they did get worse. With regards to Noel Fielding as a human, I think I do like him.
Oh, yeah.
But I do also very much understand what you mean about Russell Brand. I completely understand his comedy, his takes, his hot takes, and he's an extremely clever man.
Yeah.
And he comes across arsey. And you can tell he's picking subjects for fights, not just because he cares about the subject maybe at all, but because he knows that's going to rile people up, get an audience, and he's made success from that. All the best to him, of course, but it's just not something that I would like to be a part of.
He's the comedy equivalent of that. What's his name? The guy does Good Morning, what's his face, and he walked off.
Piers Morgan.
He's the comedy, long-haired, gothy Piers Morgan.
You know, I said that you can swear as much as you want. I didn't mean to go that far. That's a name that I don't want to hear.
Anyway, that's enough about things that
I'm sorry.
The year 2000. Yeah. Let's talk about Ed's good list from the 1960s on to the 2000s.
And Mike is right. I talk over people. It's like I start thinking ahead of what to say, and I'm trying to find the right place to put it in, and I talk over people. So he will tell me off for it, and rightly so.
That's all right.
Well, I'll say
like I just talked over him now, just now. Right.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. My good list starts with The Young Ones, 1982. Absolutely love it. That was one where it was being repeated on BBC Two, and I remember my mum saying, you should watch this. My brother and my sister, there's a generation gap between my brother, sister, and me, and she said they used to watch this, you'll like it, and I fucking loved it. I still think it's better than Bottom.
I've never watched it.
It's great.
What? Have you watched Bottom?
No.
Right, carry on with your list, Ed.
Before I kick this fucking guy.
Before something gets thrown.
Here's the 60s one, Steptoe and Son.
Oh, brilliant. Yes.
Yeah, I used to watch that with my old man as well, and I fucking loved Steptoe and Son. Then 1990, One Foot in the Grave, which spanned, I think it ended in 99 or 2000, so it kind of covers our decade there, which is nice. Porridge is another one, 1974, but before Porridge came Open All Hours.
Yes.
Also on the list. And then, yes, thank you. Slack Bladder is there. Which I was there thinking, should I choose? I was wondering if someone was going to be pedantic, really, and say, you got to choose like 1, 2, 3, or 4. But I just put them all in because I'm British and a series is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not, we're talking series, not season.
We wouldn't ask you to pick a specific episode of Inside Number 9.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. It might be the Sheridan Smith one again, actually. But if you're talking about Inside Number 9. Monty Python's Flying Circus, 1969. Then we've got Only Fools and Horses, 1981. I have chosen that. That's another one again, because people think, it's a bit... People start getting very hipster when it comes to comedies, and it's too mainstream.
Oh God, no! I mean, I don't like Only Fools and Horses, but the only reason for that is my mum's ex was so obsessed with it that I grew to dislike it, even though I did used to really like it. But yeah, that's a shame. I wouldn't think that about Only Fools and Horses. It feels like one of those comedy mainstays in the UK that like everybody loves.
It's an institution.
An institution, yeah.
Got a couple of things to add. Whilst we're talking about this, everyone listening, Ed does have a little mask of Rodney behind him. There he is. And also, I thought this was earlier than 81. I thought this was 70s. So that's quite... I think it's because it's based in the 70s. Am I right?
No, it's based in current time. Yeah, as of airing.
I guess it's because Del Boy's flat is obviously designed to look a bit outdated and tacky. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that gives it that 70s feel for me, I guess. Yeah. With that florally carpet and Art Deco shit kicking about.
That's it. Exactly that. Yeah. I'd say so, because it's nice because they hark that back to Rock and Chips, which is another divisive one. But there you see them when they first move into the flat in Rock and Chips, like in the 60s or whenever it was. And some of the deco is still the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rock and Chip, is that
Rock and Chips? It was a prequel series to Only Fools and Horses, which had James Buckley star as Del Boy.
Yeah. Say no more.
I mean, I quite like the In-Betweeners, but I don't like the idea of that.
It was more of a dramedy than a full comedy.
It wasn't even a
It had good moments. It did have good moments, but not all of it. Not enough of it.
Didn't ever watch it.
So did 1945, Ed, but we don't talk about that, do we?
Yeah.
Right. Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy, yes, I thought I'm not finding any American series here. I was going to put Friends in again, like Mike did, but he beat me to it. I could probably think of some others, but there we go. And lastly, 1997, Brass Eye.
That is absolutely sublime. I think that's Christopher Morris at his finest.
Yeah.
I actually saw Christopher Morris first in IT Crowd in the first series. But Brass Eye. I remember someone said, I think I was watching IT Crowd with him on it, and I was like, I love this guy. And then they said, did you watch a Brass Eye? And I was like, no. And then I did watch it, and my God, it's absolutely amazing. I'm sure most people listening have indeed watched Brass Eye before.
He's a brilliant writer as well. And I don't think he directed it, but did you ever watch Four Lions, the film? Because he directed that.
Is that the terrorist group?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have watched that.
directed that.
Kate loves that film. She keeps asking
It's
to
one
watch
of
it
my
again, but we
favourites.
never get round to it.
Rubber
Maybe
Dinghy
I do
Rapids.
need to.
It's great.
That's it.
An interesting fact about Chris Morris that not a lot of people know. Did you know that he's got a birthmark covering nearly half of his face?
Oh, is that what it is? I thought it was acne scarring.
No, he's got, but he always wears makeup on when he's, when he's on set.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Well, the more you know.
The more you know. I was never sure whether it was a birthmark or whether he'd been in a fire or something. Because I've seen pictures of him like at awards ceremonies, and it's very obvious. But it's something I've never Googled. So thank you very much. He's got glorious big curly hair.
He does. But when you do, when he has got makeup on, it covers the coloration, but you still get the pitting. So it looks like an acne scar, which is what I always thought it was.
Yeah, it's a very distinguishing feature, isn't it?
Distinguishing feature.
Yeah. But he's a bloody brilliant bloke. I mean, because the day-to-day, once again, precursor to Brass Eye, and that's where Alan Partridge originated from as well, wasn't it? The day-to-day.
It was
he used
indeed.
to do the sports section. Well, actually, I think he did the radio shows before.
I don't know how deep and geeky you want me to go, so I'm keeping my mouth.
If it's Partridge, go for it.
Well, it was from the radio show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you said. What you said.
Thank you for your input.
Yeah.
Stu. Right. Okay. Let's spin those wheels, shall we?
Okay. Stu, whose wheel would you like us to spin first?
We'll go for yours, Ed.
Oh, thank you, because I already had it selected.
Perfect.
Selector. Oh,
yeah.
That would have been a good one. What was that?
Oh, fuck. I hate the term guilty pleasure, but a lot of people don't like Bow Selector. But God, some of it was so the Marilyn Manson. where he's got a manatee, or he's on a boat, and he keeps talking to this American guy, and he keeps calling him Mildred. It's Mildred. Is that a manatee? Is it Mildred? And the guy just gets more and more pissed off. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
I need to rewatch it, I think. I really fancy beans and liver. Beans and liver.
Stewed liver, beans and liver. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I've got a horrible feeling here. It's broken. Yeah, so it says Mork because I've got the ampersand in it, and it says Mork and Mindy. People listening, don't worry about it. But if it says Mork, if it comes up with Mork, it means Mork and Mindy. Right? Shall I spin that fucking wheel?
Yes, please.
It! Tick, 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 diddly, 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 diddly.
Oh, look, Mork and Mindy.
Mork and the Mindies.
Oh, Morkison and Mindyson. Lovely.
Morkelford and Mikkel.
Right, moving on. Mike's good wheel. I was really hoping I wouldn't have got Mork and Mindy actually, because it's the one I watched a couple of episodes a little while back, but I know.
Spin it again.
No.
Go on. No, spin it again.
No.
I'm breaking the rules. Spin it again.
The rules are the rules. Them's the rules.
Is there a TV show called Mork?
No, I think you should
spin it again.
I think you should spin it again.
Oh, fuck my life. Right. Okay.
No, I don't want to.
All right. Okay. Right.
I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to.
No. Too late. You
tick,
fucking
tick, 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 tick.
Oh. All right.
Only fools and donkeys.
Mork and Mindy spin it again. No. Go on, spin it again.
Brilliant. Okay. Right, Mike, your wheel. I'm going to get confused.
My wheel.
Like, only Mork and horses.
only Mork and Mindies.
We've got the podcast title right there. Mike's good wheel.
Well, yeah.
And
tick, 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 tick. Faulty Towers.
Flowery twats.
flat farty powers. Lovely
they're good
stuff.
Ones. They're two staples of British comedy.
And they are. They're both, they're both in the same era-ish.
70, yeah. I was going to say, would they fight for Christmas Day #1 spot for most watched TV thing? But no, they wouldn't, because they're different times.
They are different times. We are talking Only Fools and Horses 81 and Fawlty Towers 75. I'm quite happy with that selection. That bow selection.
Stu, you can go ask what you want to either one of us. You start where you want.
All right, then. God. Mike, what's it about?
It's about a very, very angry tall man who manages a hotel in Torquay, specifically. He has a wife who's very controlling, but normally always correct. It has a very small Italian waiter and, sort of general help around the house, and a rather beautiful hostess. And you join them on their comical stories as they get different visitors, get put in different situations. Is he Spanish? He's Spanish.
Is there any casual racism in Fawlty Towers?
Sorry?
Is there any casual racism in Fawlty Towers?
I would say it was almost exclusively built upon casual racism and things that you can't talk about, such as the war. But it is for that reason that I absolutely love it. I'm sure everyone else does it too.
Okay. Ed, overview of Only Fools and Horses, please. Make it shorter than your Big Lebowski.
Okay. Only Fools and Horses. It's a premise about two brothers and their granddad. The eldest brother, Del, he's had to raise his younger brother, Rodney, after his mum passed away. He's a wheeler dealer. He's all about the image. He's tried to get, the yuppie image upon himself. But he just looks like Poundland flamboyance most of the time, selling dodgy goods on the market. It's just about the relationship between the two and their granddad. A lot of the first few series was more about what antics they'd get up to this time, but it's great. It's just about, goods off the back of a wagon. It's about their relationship as brothers who obviously they have very differing opinions on things. And Del does a lot of emotional manipulation. It's bloody funny, and it's caught the hearts of a nation.
Casual racism?
There was. Okay. I actually watched one of the. I've said this before. To Flora when we were watching it. There's a couple of nods there. For instance, they used a certain slur about a corner shop in the first series that just people don't even notice. Yet they're having digs at Fawlty Towers. There's a lot of it. It was that was the culture then, but it's stuff for us to reflect upon now, really.
Oh, well, that was very succinctly and beautifully put. I was not expecting a serious answer. Mike, favourite character that isn't a main character?
The Major.
Major. And why is he so great?
Because no matter what's happening in the scene, no matter what stresses are going on with Basil and all the shouting and throwing of things, and casual racism that's going on, he will just barge into it and just go, blah, blah, I want a drink. Where's my drink? Just bumbling around, knock everything over, and it's great. This is very apparent in the episode where the moose head keeps falling off the wall. And he keeps annoying Basil as he's trying to refit the head to the wall, or mount, I guess you would say.
Mount the head.
Yeah.
Mount the head, Ed. Your favourite
Was that a request?
I'll mount your head.
Your favourite non-main character?
Okay, so definitely not a main character. A regular character to me was always Trigger because he was hilarious. That's Boise. But carry on. Trigger was brilliant. He's just his simple look on life, his lack of knowledge or ability to take in information. If you look at him in early series, it wasn't as bad. He was a bit dim-witted, but nowhere near what he was as he progressed throughout. But it's a constant running joke about Trigger is he always calls Rodney Dave. It just seems silly, and you think, how do they carry on for that long? But it just goes. It just goes with it. And there was one point where Rodney does finally ask, it's like, why do you keep calling me Dave? That's your name, isn't it? He goes, no, it's Rodney. He went, oh, I thought it was Dave. And then he turns around to someone else who goes, look, how long are you going to be? Me and Dave haven't got all day or something. It's just like straight away, straight out of his head.
Lovely. How many questions do you want, by the way?
I don't know how we're doing for time. It's a good question.
We've been recording for 47 minutes, but we did just chat for 10.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, keep go. Go ask what 3 more.
Okay, Ed. Favorite episode.
We'll weigh it out.
Favorite episode. Yeah.
Oh. I think my favorite episode might be the one. I think it might be the one that first introduces Denzel. Where they owe Denzel money and they're constantly trying to evade him. And then they find out about this butterfly that it's supposed to be very rare, expensive butterfly. And they're hiding from him in a graveyard by their mum's grave, as you do. And then they spot it. And the end, the last act of the episode is them trying to get this butterfly in a graveyard, and they're trying to be as careful as possible, and like he sees him on the lily pad, and he's trying to get this bloody butterfly, and like Del shouts at Rodney's trying to get it, and he just falls in, and it's just the mess they get into trying to get this one fucking butterfly, and they finally do get it, and then Denzel comes past on his roller skates, and it's like he just struggles. Denzel, I've got your money, and he's showing the butterfly, and then Denzel just comes past and does a high five on his hands. He goes, "Great, I'll see you at the pub later." And then it's like the realization that the money's just been squashed to death in their hands.
Lovely.
The payout.
It's about the big build up towards the end.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure whether I can add. I'm not going to. Mike, your favourite Fawlty Towers episode?
It's the Germans, of course. I think it's probably everyone's favourite episode. For those of you who don't know, and of course, just to answer your question, Stu, the Germans is the episode when there are literally Germans coming to stay at the hotel, and Basil is very overthinking the whole thing by specifically telling himself not to mention the Germans, not to talk about, and don't even reference it. They're just people. They're coming in. They need a room. That's all they need. But in doing so, does the exact opposite and mentions the Germans a lot. Specific one, trying to think if it's okay to actually say this live on Twitch. Yes, it's fine.
You are quoting. So, and I quote. And I quote.
Basically, the Germans have an issue with their meal. They keep sending things back. There's issues with it and everything like that. They get into a big argument back and forth with Basil and the Germans. And the end of the punchline is, well, you started it. And then Basil replies, no, I didn't. You invaded Poland. It's just, so good. And it's Genuinely still extremely funny to this day, which is always good. It's something that you can always tell, like a comedy sketch sort of thing. We just talked about 2 pints of lager extremely fondly. I feel like if I was to rewatch that, I would be riding that nostalgia train quite a bit. Whereas with this, I could show this to anyone that has maybe not seen it before, and they would still laugh like it was great. But yeah, there you go. Can I
add on to this, Mike? And it's on a positive. For it. I'm not trying to swing the vote here, but in that storyline, so he ends up heavily concussed, and he's in hospital, and then he comes back, and the reason he's so ditzy about the whole situation is because he can't, he can't really control what he's saying or doing. So it's like it's his inner narrow-mindedness coming out. Which causes the whole situation. And I think the whole thing is, it's not a play on the racist jokes. It's a play upon him having the narrow-mindedness to think that. And somewhere along the line, it was deemed culturally inappropriate. But I think the way your mindset looks at it, that's not what it is. I mean, there is the bit about that one where I don't think that is the problem. I think it's the bit earlier on where he's trying to tell the Major that their foreign people will be there, and then the Major actually uses quite a quite a slur towards an ethnic minority. But that was the bit there. But once again, that was a play upon him not realizing it's politically incorrect to use that term, but he used it. But because he did, that was the big thing that really kicked it off.
Definitely, yeah.
And I think it's possibly the best episode as well.
And I'm going to return fire as well with that scene and that episode for Fawlty Towers are iconic. If you find little clips and stuff on YouTube, it'll probably be from that episode. Only Fools and Horses, of course. I'm not going to go Batman and Robin. For me, it wasn't that special, but falling through the bar.
Yes.
You'll probably be able to tell me, Ed, maybe Stu as well. What does he say just before he goes, well, we're untouchable or something? And then he just... he's like,
play it cool, Trig, play it cool.
Yeah. And I watched an interview with him, just like as he... talking about how he did it.
Yeah.
And he said it was no problems at all because there was a crash pad obviously just out of shot. Yeah. So as soon as he fell, he was safe. But he said the hardest part was keeping his arm straight.
He did it perfectly. And
he did it perfectly in the end, yeah.
It had to be one take because it was in front of a live audience. So if they had to do it again, the payoff wouldn't have been as good. It still would have worked. One of the biggest ones they had was do you remember when they pretended to be like chandelier refurbishers? Like they'd go and they would go and do the chandelier. The biggest thing for that is because they couldn't obviously drop the original chandelier, so they had to have a mock-up. But the cost of the mock-up was astronomical.
They only had one anyway, didn't they?
Yeah, they had one go, and they always talk about you can just see on one take where their shoulders are going at it, but they've got to be really careful because if there was one laugh, that would have been it. The whole episode would have been scrapped.
A Touch of Glass was that episode called? Something like that,
possibly.
Maybe. Well, I was going to say about the falling through the bar thing. Have you ever seen the Stuart Lee comedy Vehicle?
No,
where he talks about that, and it's kind of typical Stuart Lee, where he rams a joke into the floor and then it starts becoming funny again. About how they have a big festival to celebrate the him falling through the bar, and they've got like a big, like huge, like 20-foot. Del Boy, and they've made like a bar out of hay, and they have him fall through, and they all like lip sync along for the episode. And he part. It's not as funny when I'm explaining it, but then again,
I must say, we're talking about all these series, as Ed says, and we went through our list at the beginning. And nowadays, when you're talking about games and movies and stuff that I know are probably iconic, especially just like you're talking quite fondly about this, I have learnt if I don't know something or I haven't heard of something, I do say so, because it's better that we're on the same level, and it means that you can teach me something. So I've never heard of Stuart Lee, and I've never seen anything he's ever been in. I just googled him quickly. He's still current. He's releasing things to this day.
He is, yeah. Dave of Roasting to Spectrum fame saw him a few weeks ago, in fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He did. He was part of. So he was part of the original. Him and Richard Herring were actually part of the original writing team on the Day Today when it was on the radio. And there is a running joke that Richard Herring and Stuart Lee actually created Alan Partridge because they originally wrote something for him when it was a radio show.
Okay.
God, interesting man that I am. But then they did a sketch show called Fist of Fun, Tomorrow with Richard, Not Judy, and now Stuart
This Morning with Richard and Not Judy.
That's the one. Yeah,
that was my foray into them with the Curious Orange, and
that's the one. Yeah,
was it the Curious Orange? Yes, it was, because I was
the Curious
get
Orange.
It right, because there was a YouTube thing decades ago, the Annoying Orange, which was
who is the same thing pretty much.
Yeah. But I'm trying to remember who played the Curious Orange now, but he's been in like lots of.
He's been
Peter
Putner. Is it Pete Putner?
He's been bit characters and lots of stuff.
Yeah. But he's like Kevin Alden in that respect. He's been in loads and loads of things. Okay, right. Okay, Mike, sing the theme tune.
Of 40 Towers?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. I can't fucking remember the bastard. No.
Now, I've got a theme tune in my head, but I don't think it. I think it's from something else. I've got. But is
that that's it. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
For some reason, I got mixed that up with keeping up appearances. Ed, sing the theme tune, but not the first series, because it had a different theme tune, didn't it?
That's where you're wrong.
Did it? The first series had a different theme tune.
One episode had the.
Oh, was it only the pilot?
Yeah, which was created
God's
by.
Sake.
I think it was something like they created. I don't know if it was a pilot. I think it was a Christmas special, actually. Weirdly enough, but because that was done by Ronnie Hazelhurst. That was the guy I want to say who used to do all the music and stuff for comedy series back then, and he was the guy that would get the job. And I think they just went, "All right, you get it," but then. Then John Sullivan did, obviously did the, was
the
it stick a pony
tunes
in your pocket? I'll fetch the suitcase from the van. That one. That's what I'm doing. I'm not doing the rest.
Want to do the outro music?
Oh, God. I'll just remember Shepherd's Bush.
There we go. That'll do. Okay, excellent. Do you want to make a choice or ask some more questions?
Oh, please make a choice. Put me out of this misery. I think I've only talked about as much as I can remember from Fawlty Towers.
It's quite difficult, isn't it, with Fawlty Towers, because it's a very, very... There was only 2 series, is that right?
Yeah, 5 episodes. Or 6. Hey, 6 episodes. A series.
And Ed, you've got about, 300 episodes?
Yeah, it's good because I'm cutting it off at 2000, so we can ignore
Was that the Christmas special where they became millionaires?
That was when it should have ended, and then
it should have ended.
But, even though it was god fucking awful, there was still the good one when they went to they went over to France to get the beer, but they accidentally got some bloke stuck in the back, and they had to tell his family it was Gary. Would you like some piccalilli, Gary?
It became Only Fools and Flogging a Dead Horse.
Yes, exactly. But, so we can ignore that because I'm sure that was post 2000. So we're good.
That was fucking terrible.
I know. It's my dad jokes. You listen to my podcast. You know how terrible some of my jokes are. Okie dokie. I think I'm going to go with Only Fools and Horses. Although I prefer 40 Towers, Only Fools and Horses from this sounds like the more interesting show.
Yeah,
I would agree. I'm more a Fawlty Towers person. Once again, Mike was jumping ahead with the list on this, so he wrote it down, and I was like, "You fucker." There's a good few he chose. Red Dwarf would have been on there, obviously. Fawlty Towers, and I would have put Friends on there just for the American bit. Once again, I know everyone thinks it's good to hate it, but I enjoy it. And
no, it's fantastically written. It's brilliant. Just went on a bit long and then got a bit boring, then kind of peaked again at the end. I think
the last season they started off with that horrible fucking Joey and Rachel relationship thing that needed to go straight in the bin, and they did that, and then it was all right again. But yeah, I know we're recording this but I think I'm going to keep this bit in. With Twitch chat is Dale also pointed out that apart from Only Fools and Horses always sticks with him as brilliance is when Dale takes a beating for Rodney, because he didn't tell him, he just said it was sorted, and then he walked away, but you saw him walk out and then you saw him got all the bruises down him, so he didn't tell him that he took the beating. But it's great because Dale always seems like the guy that he'll always manipulate Rodney into schemes so he could make money, and he'd always take a higher cut of the money and things like that. He seems like a very selfish perspective, but from that part, you can see that he still loves his brother a lot and would do anything for him. It has moving moments like that.
There is some like serious emotional moments in Only Fools and Horses, and I mean, it's good that someone like David Jason has got a bit of range to him, because it could be things like that could be quite insincere if done incorrectly. But yeah, I think in regards to the two shows, Only Fools and Horses kind of does the whole range of comedy, whereas 40 Towers knows what it is and does that thing very, very well.
We always have a running joke on these streams throughout certain areas of the community, any that Merlin is in chats, because he always thinks like Nicholas Lyndhurst has no acting talent, so there's never a need for Lyndhurst, hence the Lyndhurst masks just to wind him up. But there's a brilliant scene in there when Rodney and Del are trapped in a lift, or so Rodney thinks, and Rodney and him have an argument, and then he's like he tells Del that him and Cassandra lost the baby, and it's really, really moving. It shows, he really they both do have the acting range for it, and they work so well together.
There's a bit where Rodney runs away and he lives in, it's like, I want to say like an air duct or something.
Yeah, he's in the vents up the top. And the only reason they can know he's there because of the smell of the wacky backy.
Yeah, that's it. But like, so he's like, there's a bit where he's like really cold. Yeah, and he's generally quite upset by his situation. He's good. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
I'll shut up.
I was going to say two things. One is, of course, with regards to serious acting, A Touch of Frost with David Jason is very good. Mm-hmm. But also, I was going to say something that I've forgotten. Oh, yes, we mentioned Only Forces without mentioning the episodes around Granddad's death. And then Uncle Albert.
Has anyone seen my hat?
Yes.
It's so well played. It's such a lovely, touching, moving moment, but then they can just pull it away, but respectfully with a little gag like that where they put his hat on top of it and then off it goes, and it was the vicar's hat.
Yeah. Because I watched it behind the scenes where Uncle Albert came in and everything, and David Jason said that they were in serious conversations about just ending it there, and that they would only continue if they had met certain criteria, or if they managed to have gel in the same way with someone else, which of course they did with Uncle Albert. But yeah, no, tragic loss, and unfortunately, Grandad. I think up until Grandad, I preferred those episodes more than the ones with Uncle Albert.
Yeah, I mean, Buster Merryfield still had great bits in it. The best one is when they find the German woman in the pub. And they don't know how to talk to her. And he goes, and then Uncle Albert's like, I know how to speak German. And he goes, what is your name?
Yeah. Okay, everyone. Let us spin the wheel for round 2 and find out. Actually, no, sorry. We'll go through the lists first, shall we?
Yeah.
With bad lists. We've only got 5 options on each wheel. And I am going to be very transparent here, everyone. I really don't know any. This isn't my era. The 40 years between 1960 and 2000, I wasn't alive a lot. And I didn't watch much TV during those times, nor did I go back and watch specifically bad ones. I watched things like Blackadder, the ones that are on our list so far, because they're notoriously good. I didn't go back and watch things that are shit.
Mike, can I just say something?
Please.
It would have been helpful if you'd have told me that when I gave you the suggestion.
That's not how we roll, Stu.
Yeah. That's a shame. I could have widened the net a little bit for you.
No. You asked, you get.
Oh, thank you very much.
So we do have 5 each. Ed is fairly okay with his 5, but my 5, I've heard of 1. And I know very little about that. So, Ed, start off with yours because I went first last time.
Yeah, very quickly, though. Most of these, apart from maybe 4, so 6 out of these, including your selection and mine, they were... I did a stream yesterday and I was after recommendations, and a lot of these were recommendations from people on stream, so we would have been stuck otherwise. As you said... it's very difficult because normally if it's a bad series, you're not going to know about it unless you saw it at that very point because it's not going to be repeated. So that was bloody brilliant. Yeah, whose wheels first? Oh, sorry, we're going to go through the list. My list. I know what I'm doing. Right, so first one, 1996, Married for Life, which starred Russ Abbott, and it was a UK adaptation of Married with Children. Then another 1996 one, which was The Legacy of Reginald Perrin, which was a continuation of the brilliant Reginald Perrin series in the late 70s. And for some reason, they dragged it back up. Then
remade it.
Sorry? Oh, they remade it, but we can't count that one because that was after 2000 with Martin Clunes. Then in 1999, there's Days Like These, which was a UK version of that 70s show. 1965, a US series, thanks to Taz for bringing this one up, was My Mother the Car, which imagine Knight Rider, except Kit is Michael's dead mum.
Crossed with Mr. Ed.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. And then the last one, it was a 1-episode jobby in 1997, written by Eddie Izzard, co-written and created by Eddie Izzard, which was called Cows.
Good. My Mother the Car. I mean, have you seen that before, Ed?
I watched 1 episode of it yesterday.
Okay. Well, I mean, I, for one, hope that one comes up because I want to learn more about... What the fuck is going on there?
Yeah.
So my number 1 is Are You Being Served? Now, I understand that this was actually quite prolific back in the day, but I didn't like it, so it's on my fucking list. That is the only one I've ever watched anything from. I've got Heil Honey, I'm Home. Bottle Boys, 1984, Babes in the Wood, 1998, and Dr. Beaching in 95. Never heard of any of those before Ed told me to put them in the list. And there you go.
I'll give you a quick heads up on the Heil Honey, I'm Home. They aired 1 episode and then the rest of it got cancelled immediately. So they produced 6 episodes, but just to give you a head start on that, just in case. Right, whose wheels first?
Well, you went first last time, so we will go first with Mike.
Oh, wow!
Let me bring up Mike's shit wheel. And we're going to have a tickety tick 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 tick
tick. Bottle boys. Okay.
Get researching.
I know absolutely nothing about this show, so that'll be really interesting.
I know it was bad. That's all I know about it. It came up on a lot of lists of bad, and then someone else mentioned it. A couple of people mentioned it yesterday as well, so we threw that one in. Okay. Oh, hang on. I've just unplugged my headphones. Yeah, meant to do that. Right. My shit wheel. Here we go. Tick 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 tick. Fucking hell! There we go. It's the one everyone wanted. My mother, the car. Oh,
good.
Fuck me.
And as a train goes by, I'm allowed to do some research for 5 minutes while Zed talks to chat.
Oh, yeah, we need to talk to chat. There you go. Sorted. Let's have a look. Taz is very happy that My Mother the Car came up, which is great. Never like Only Fools and Horses, never find it funny. Lots of people agree. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. As I said, I prefer Faulty Towers to Only Fools and Horses. The episode where Dell gets beaten up by the Driscoll brothers, so he could have the money for Rodney's wedding. I think that was it. That was exactly what Dale was talking about before. I definitely agree with that one. He also says, I think racist people should be definitely called the culturally inappropriate. Yeah.
That's a fantastic term.
Yeah, culturally inappropriate. Yeah, there we go. Divide.
You must be able to buy that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a t-shirt. There we go.
Pocket knockers.
With pocket knockers.
Inappropriate.
We're not racing. But yeah, it'll be a good one. Right. Hopefully, Mike shouldn't have to take long to have a quick gander at this, because I think there was only one series of Bottle Boys, and it's a UK series, so it's like 6 episodes.
Yeah, I just washed it down. It's all done.
Yeah, wash that bottle down.
Sorry, Mike, you didn't actually ever do your Brummie accent.
No, I avoided that, and now we don't need to return to that conversation.
No, we do now. Until
there's one. I shan't say anything about Peaky Blinders that could spoil it for anyone. I know that the finale of it is relatively recent, so.
But I thought you were going to do a Brummie accent.
Yeah. But for those of you who have watched it, you'll know of a character called Arthur. And in nearly every time when he enters frame, he would go, "Right then!" Which is almost Australian when I say it.
It's all right. Anything that isn't shouting? Say, "My name is Mike."
My name is Mike.
That's all right.
That's all right.
That's good.
My name is Mark. Okay, it's going one.
My name.
My
name is Mike.
My name's Michael Caine.
My name is Indigo Montoya.
That was Liverpudlian, that was.
My wife's South African, so people just assume that she's a Brummie as well. So
South African.
South African, yeah.
I used to work with a South African called Blaze.
Oh, did you?
I said, "Is that a common name in South Africa?" He went, "No." My mum's just a prick.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, it was a decent Brummie accent.
Thank you very much.
That's all right.
Okay, let's crack on with round 2. We've got a bad series. I've done a little bit of research. Literally nothing repeatable on camera. I've seen pictures, and I can see. I've got the wiki open, which for this round I'll allow myself to keep it open. It might help. You never know.
Okay.
But carry on.
Okay. How does the theme tune go?
It goes. Oh no, I'm not running that through there, am I? It
Just make it up.
Bottle boys, I'm happening Alberto. Dorset says a milk truck, he's a fucking cunt. Milk truck, the bottle boys, hearing the milk. There you go.
Oh, you might have just won it by that one. By that one question.
Good.
Oh, excellent. So what's the premise then of Bottle Boys?
I don't know. So, it's about a milkman.
Okay.
Who? Oh, this is why this is going to be tricky for both of us, Stu, because I said I'm just going to round 3 this, which would mean that you would need to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm going to lie now and say loads of shit, pretending like know what I'm talking about, but you're not going to know whether I'm lying or not. So just assume everything's a lie.
Should I get it up on Wikipedia?
Should we just both read the same article?
Should I just read through the Wikipedia article? Oh, yeah, that sounds all right. That's quite interesting. Yeah. Okay, so who has it got? Anybody notable in it? Anybody people might know?
It's got Pat Butcher in it.
Right, okay. What does she do? Who does she play?
She plays Pat Sharp.
Right. Okay, so they're milkmen in a funhouse? What's going on?
You know more than me. Is there a funhouse involved?
I don't know, but Pat Sharp hosted Funhouse.
Gotcha. Yeah, so... the Funhouse, and this is something that you don't see frequently on the episodes of Funhouse, but there's a big requirement of fresh milk constantly.
For the twins?
For the twins. Twins, Basil, twins.
Sorry, Mike, may I just interject? Have you ever seen Funhouse?
No.
No, okay. This is going to be even more interesting then.
And basically, even though Funhouse was very successful, they really tried to milk it. And they thought they'd make a series about delivering milk to the Funhouse. It's not the best. It's really bad, but it's got Pat Butcher in it. Right. The part of Dave Deacon was originally written for Jim Davidson, who was by this time moving into sitcom with Up the Elephant Round the Castle, also on ITV. Future BBC controller John Burt during his tenure with London Weekend Television suggested that Asquith take the part, which I think is something worth noting.
Sorry, what was the show? They originally wanted Jim Davison. What year was this? Sorry.
Yeah. This was
88. Did you say
84?
84.
Yeah, that fucking TV series. I wish I had it on my shit list. I forgot about it. Up the Elephant Round the Castle. Fucking horrible.
Oh, well, it's not as bad as this.
I bet it's not. If he turned it down to do Up the Elephant Round the Castle, it's gotta be fucking shit.
I was going to
Yeah. There are elements of Up the Elephant Round the Castle in Bottle Boys and thus in Funhouse. But really, at the end of the day, this is where they jumped the shark, Stu. And this was the inception of the terror that is Pat Butcher dressed up as Pat Sharp.
Right. Okay. So how many episodes were there? Sorry.
There's 13.
There's 13. So is that two series?
Two series
and a Christmas special potentially.
Yeah. Christmas at the Funhouse. Except it wasn't milkmen at that point. They were delivering nutmeg.
Mate, I'm really trying.
Nutmeg, eggnog. You're trying.
I'm really trying. I'm trying.
I'm very sorry. Can you ask Ed a question then?
Right. Okay. First question, Ed. Oh, yours was My Mother the Car or whatever it is.
Oh, you see? Okay, yeah. Fine.
What have I done?
Well, I was going to fucking quickly watch an episode quieter than you're talking, but also I want to listen to Ed because I want to know what the fuck this is about.
So, what's the theme tune for My Mother the Car?
I'm so fucking glad you asked. I really am. Hang on. Everybody knows in a second life we come back sooner or later. As anything from a pussycat to a man-eating alligator. And then it's just like a honk, 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 honk. Well, you all may think my story is more fiction than fact. But believe it or not, my mother decided she'd come back. And it carries on. Basically, she comes back as a 1928 porter.
Oh, nice.
Which is brilliant. He's there looking for a new car. And he stumbles across this battered old thing and he thinks nothing of it. And then the fucking car's radio starts talking. And it's the voice of his dead mum, who decides that she has to come back as a car to help his son through his life. And by doing that, she effectively makes everyone think he's fucking mental because no one believes that his car's his dead mum.
Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk? What colour's the car?
Well, it's
on that black and white TV show.
It's colour. It's colour.
Oh, is it actually?
The pilot was done in black and white, but they recreated the pilot in colour. It's sometimes on syndication. You might see the original black and white, but mainly is the colour version. So it starts off as a battered old black 1928 Porter, and then the first one, you've heard Pimp My Ride. This is Pimp My Mum. He takes his mum down a spray shop and gets her all painted up in red. He gives her a nice new sheath, also the hood for the car, and then drives it back. Everyone thinks he's a nutter, but then they see what he's done. They're like, all right, yeah, hopefully it's sailed for better now. And he's got this mad bloke. I'm trying to remember his fucking name. Apparently he was quite prolific back in the like comedy and variety scenes, but he was there and he's known. He looks like the Pringles guy with a massive moustache, but he keeps coming along occasionally going, I want to buy your car. Very off the wall character, considering this TV series looks very similar to like I Dream of Jeannie, that kind of stuff. And then he comes along, and then all of a sudden it's a fucking Laurel and Hardy sketch. There's one bit where the lead is standing outside the garage waiting for the car to be resprayed. He's just there looking forward, and then this guy comes along and he's like dodging left and right, like across the fucking scene. The creaks open these doors, and then there's just this weird noise, and he looks shocked. He turns around, he's got the spray down because they were respraying the car behind the doors, and it's like, oh, that's funny. Cue the laughter track that doesn't exist. There's no laughter track through this. It's like they forgot about it. There's even pauses for laughter.
My God, that's weird.
Yeah, it's what's his name? Jerry Van Dyke's the lead. It's Dick Van Dyke's brother.
Right.
He seems like he forgot how to act throughout it.
I don't think I've seen him in anything else.
Everyone seems very unenthused with the whole situation. How
long did it run for?
30 episodes as one season.
30 episodes of one season?
Yeah. I'm going to have to open Wikipedia because I can't remember the names of the people. But I just want to, so the production team, if we look at it, so you got, I'm going to have to say his name right, Rob Amateo, but he created like the George Burns and Gracie Allen show. The co-creator, it was Jay Ward, who people might know for the Mary Tyler Moore Show. One of the writers for it was James L. Brooks, off of Simpsons fame. Weirdly enough, is do you remember the Lovematic Grandpa sketch they did for a Halloween special where he was the Love-ometer? His grandpa was the Love-ometer of the Simpsons. Yes, it was a parody of this.
Oh, okay.
I have it on authority as well. I didn't believe this, but they were insistent it's true. You might have to look it up or not, but this was actually somehow an inspiration for Knight Rider.
No, really?
Yeah, I mean, it could a car that talks, great. And they just kind of went for that.
Should we make it good?
Yeah, pretty much. But
was Knight Rider before or after the A-Team? That's a good question. I think it was after. I would have said after. I'm not too sure.
I would have said after too.
Yeah, because I would have said people had watched that and then watched the A-Team, and they're gone, oh, people like action, and people like cars.
Knight Rider's 82.
All right, what came first, Knight Rider or Airwolf?
Oh, yes, or Airwolf.
A-Team was 83, so A-Team was a year after Knight Rider.
Oh, right. Okay. Fucking hell.
Well, scratch that idea then.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mike?
it's ridiculous. It seems like it's got such a stellar cast, but it feels really flat, and it just doesn't make sense. It's like he's driving back from this car lot after picking his mum up, he's saying, "Oh, I can't wait to tell my wife that you're a car now," and she's saying, "You can't do that. Everyone will think you're mad." And he goes, "No, they will understand. They will understand." He gets there, and he's trying to explain to it, and they don't believe him. And I'm thinking, can't she just fucking talk to them too?
Yeah, just go and...
She sits there in fucking silence, only occasionally to alert him by a fucking horn honk that he's been an idiot. That's it. And every time he's being an idiot, it suddenly goes, it's just a wah, 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 and it pans to their dog, who's just sitting there going, Ruff. It's like,
this is shit.
I don't fucking get it. Even the dog knew it was shit. It's...
Did Kit in Knight Rider talk to anybody other than David? Is it David?
Dave. Was it Dave? No, Michael. Michael Knight,
of course, yeah.
David, Michael Hasselhoff, David Knight.
Did Kit talk to anybody else? I can't remember.
I'm sure he did, yeah.
Because he was in the trailer quite often.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. But he would like try and ward people away. I'm sure, wasn't there someone tried to take over the car or something, and he was like, fuck off? I don't know. But yeah, it was created by Alan Burns and Chris Haywood, who had better success with The Munsters, Get Smart, Rocky and Bullwinkle. Such brilliant things like that. Yeah, it's just very odd. I can't... Even then, you had things like Ed the Horse. It was weirder than that. I got to I thought, I'm sure it's going to be, there might be some funny bits in it. And maybe I would have thought it could have survived with a laugh track.
But 30 episodes of that?
Yeah, 30 episodes.
Fuck.
1965 to 1966.
No. You see, the fact that it's so long is almost taking me the other direction towards the other one.
I looked through plots on this. So I've explained the first plot to you, where it's like someone was trying to buy the car, and he's trying to. He told in the end, because his family thought he was mad. He went, "Oh no, I just thought after it was done up, you could sell it at 5 times the value I bought it for." That's what he said. They pimped it up, and he was like, "Go on, sell it then." And he had to convince them that he was holding out for a higher bid, which is why he didn't. But then the next episode is he finds out there are vandals out stripping cars. So he's trying to stay up all night with his mum so they don't come along and take her clothes off, basically. And then there's another one where he goes on a long drive up to a mountaintop, and he's got to put antifreeze in the car, and his mum's got drunk on it.
Oh, that's a nice little plot idea.
It is, but that. Somehow it sounds like, actually, it sounds a bit funny, but you watch it and I don't know. I think it's like the Jerry Van Dyke. I'm sure it's Jerry Van Dyke. I'm going to have to check. Yes, Jerry Van Dyke. But he seems like he's half asleep throughout it.
He probably, yeah. He's sleepwalking through the episode.
It seems like no one wanted to be there.
Yeah.
But there we go.
Excellent. Anything else, Mike?
Yeah, I've done some thinking about this, from my memory. And I remember it being very heavily disliked because of the amount of raunchiness going on. It was almost as if as soon as husbands went out, that women just got fucking so wet they needed to fucking try and fuck the milkman, the builder, the plumber. Like, you know what I mean? Like when the milkman comes over and they're like, "Oh, hello." I'm swear there's another sitcom where there's someone comes in.
There's lots of sexy milkmans in sitcoms, isn't there? It's one of those tropes that women want to sleep with the milkmen.
it's really weird. There's lots of that. In fact, it's pretty much solely based on that. Most of the comedy, or at least action, takes place inside the break room where they've got nudity on their lockers and stuff, and they're like,
is it like Confessions of a Milkman? Is it along those? Is it like,
I don't know. They tried to, I guess so. Yeah, they tried to go deeper though, because they.
Oh, did they?
They hired a woman milk person, and they get into a big, especially nowadays, controversial conversation as to, well, why is not Manchester called Person Chester then? Why do we have to be called milk people? And all that sort of shit. But just so much sexism and things like that. There's a black man in this, and the words for him, or his rhyme sheet is written so much by a white man.
Oh, dreadful patois.
So he drinks Trinidadian rum all the time, and makes very obvious references to the fact he's black all the time.
Yeah. What year was this?
82, was it? No, 84, sorry.
1984. I mean, it's taking the 70s innuendos and cultural inappropriateness and trying to continue it through to 1984.
Yeah. There's many references to Vince Powell, who did make loads of other projects, and did this sort of humor before. And it worked very well in movies and things like this, because slapstick's a thing, and the further back you go, the more accepting this comedy was. But to build attempt to build a whole franchise on lad, milkman, I'm going to go round her house and give her a bit of...
Like 2 pints of lager.
Yeah, just like that. But they both got long-term partners.
I'm visualising fucking... What's his name? Reg Varney on the buses, that kind of thing, where he stops off to the passengers as a quick, how's your father? But that, once again, that was back like the Carry On days of gold. But it's like, it feels like they missed their mark, really.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, with that sort of thing, it's kind of followed with. Especially Carry On stuff, like, is always followed. Oh, matron, yeah, and it's always followed with like I'll do cookie, and it's always like really comedic. Whereas this takes it into that sort of banterish, which
Baldy.
it's a negative. It's a negative. That's the truth of it in my quick research of this non-Funhouse based version of Bottle Boys.
Right.
The acting, I did watch a bit of an episode, then I had it muted, and obviously the acting's terrible. The cinematography, I would say, was probably the worst thing. Some of the shots are way too close, some of the angles are completely off. I must assume that their set was so small because the budget was so constrained that they can't really get, they have to get in close because that's just how big the set is.
Yeah.
And as I said, most of the action takes place in the break room, yet again, probably because they couldn't afford that many sets, so on and so forth. But yes, that is pretty much sums up what I've found. The other thing is, I looked for reviews on this, and this might sum it up for you, Stu. There's 3 on IMDb. One says it's painful, 1 star. This show probably would have worked in 1972, but on the buses. But in 84, the cliches of Randy Milkman, the buxom secretary, the drunk Scotsman, and the laid-back West Indian, where you get the idea.
Yeah,
doesn't come off. And then there's someone who says 10 out of 10, one of the best TV shows. One of the best old TV shows I would so love to have on DVD if it was out to buy. And he spelt wood, as in from a tree.
Is it Jay Davidson? R.C. Brown?
Darren Dawson -37417. Yeah, there you go.
Cool. Well, I'm going to go with My Mother the Car.
Yeah, I would as well.
So I don't get burnt at the stake.
now you
it did.
Now you've decided. Can I just say the Bottle Boys this is how bad it is. It was written by Vince Powell, who was known for creating Love Thy Neighbor,
which was incredibly PC, wasn't it?
Oh yes, perfectly PC. Yes, no racism on both sides whatsoever during a conflicting time of So it's fucking ridiculous. It's like it's proper social, workers' club comedy. But way it was dated, but it was already dated by the time it came out, and fucking awful. But
and I wish I could have listened to more of your explanation of My Mother the Car, but I've got more questions about things like scenarios that he would find himself in. Like, so when you fart whilst you're driving, are you farting on your mum? Does she get pissed off at that?
Well, now this is something that I don't know what was in it, but I just know the original pilot that was black and white. They end up cutting a scene for the actual release. I don't know why, but the car backfired. That's all I know, and they cut that scene. So you might have just hit the nail on the head with farts there, maybe.
Yeah. But because there's like so many scenarios like that would your sort of your mind gets thinking about. But what if there's like ice on the road and you skid off the road and you destroy her or whatever? Like, is she dead?
Yeah.
How crashed can she be? And then parts are replaced before your mum's not part of the car anymore.
Well, we're going back to is it? Oh, what's his name? Trigger's broom. Is it Trigger's broom?
Yeah.
But I wonder whether she's
it's
just
like, how much are you changing? I'm going to put a picture up here very quickly. I can't remember the name of the actor, but this is Captain Manzini, and he's a recurring character in this. And he is he's adamant on owning this car, apparently. Oh, it's the car I want. And he even ends up he reproduces this car. He makes fake versions of this car to try and replace the original car so he can get it. I don't know how much money this guy's. And he challenges into races on this. But it's that's Captain Manzini right there with his beautiful moustache. Okay. I'm going to have to find the name of the actor in a moment.
Well, if you're ever looking for somebody I was going to say, if you're ever looking for somebody to cosplay as.
Oh, well, there you go.
He's your man.
Yeah. But I'll find the actor's name in a second. But he was quite well known. I said he looks like the Pringles guy. I found out the actor actually was well known for doing Doritos adverts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fucking hell, what was his name? Avery Schreiber. I think Taz actually put the name in chat earlier. But he was quite a well-known comedian.
Yeah.
Apparently in Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I don't remember. Okay. Was he in Bedknobs and Broomsticks? I don't remember that. But that's
I don't remember that character. I don't remember a Pringles in Tweed character being in Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Okay. Chat's on crack. But
sorry, can I just interrupt? I'm so stupid that I've only just realised that you're wearing flat caps for Peaky Blinders and I'm from Birmingham. Is that the point?
No, I got this when we did a charity. My hat when we did a charity shop challenge, and then it just came to a thing where I'd wear it, and then Mike found his, and then for some reason we just keep wearing them when we stream.
I mean, they both really suit you. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't sure because you'd mentioned the Peaky Blinders a few times.
I'm just going to show you this. This is not great for
my penis.
This is me with my glasses on, and then I realise it looks like I'm going down the allotments.
It's a good look.
Quite a change.
It's a good look with your headphones on, going down the allotments.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stream me digging up the cabbages on Twitch.
Listen to some Dr. Dre.
Got some right pumping tunes on. Nobody forgot about him. I bloody didn't anyway.
Ed,
Yes.
you are 2 for 2.
Oh, yeah, we are actually.
You
yeah,
are two
because
for
the last
two,
one's a
yes.
2-pointer. The last
One's a
round.
2-pointer. So that means if I win this round, then we get to actually fucking knock pockets for the first time in ages. Or Ed gets a fucking clean sweep, destroys me, and Stu has a secret crush on Ed. But that's fine.
Yeah, you're both
It's been a while
very
since
lovely.
I've won one, though. I thought I've been doing quite well, and then last year we did a tally up, and I was doing shit. I haven't not won anything in ages.
Yeah. I said in the Discord earlier, I don't know what it is. I've had like a bit of an illness, and today my glands have they've reduced now. They're not as painful as they were before, but I'm just in a really weird mood. I don't know what it is, and I'm trying my hardest. But that's my excuse, is what I'm saying.
You've been perfectly pleasant.
So we are now going to do round 3, and that means we're going to try and come up with some shit to do with the series that Stu's mentioned. I did, as the same prerequisite as every other guest on the Pocket Knockers, give Stu the instruction to say choose some off the wall ones that we probably wouldn't have heard of. And Ed's highlighted one. So have you heard of one? Have you?
No, I just clicked. I've not heard any of them. I've not heard of any single one of these. I've already looked. No. I'm quite... I watch too much TV, and I'm surprised I haven't heard of any of these. So you've done well. You've done well for obscurity here.
Well, I'm a big Adult Swim fan. So I've gone with all Adult Swim shows.
Yes, I do recognise one as an Adult Swim show now. Drinky Crow Show.
Yeah.
Maximum, but I've not...
Was Adult Swim before 2000?
Adult Swim was, yeah. It's been going for years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking stench coming through this window, I tell you.
I thought you were saying you were smelling bullshit off him then. It's like,
you know what? Hang on. Do you know what? My list is after 2000.
Your what?
Are you fucking shitting me?
My list, some of them are after 2000.
Sorry, is this fucking new and tasty?
Are you for fucking
is that
real?
What you're fucking doing right now? For those of you who don't know, there's a bit of a joke on Stu's podcast, 10-hour timestamp, where they were playing Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, and they were all playing the PS1 version, apart from the guest who was playing New and Tasty. At that point, Dave Rose Tinted Spectrum started playing New and Tasty, and then said rather rampantly how great and much better and easier it was, meanwhile leaving Stu in the dark about the whole thing the whole time, so he's still struggling away on the PS1 version.
I genuinely forgot that I gave... Yeah. Okay.
So he's done the same to us. He's made us struggle now through trying to come up and wrangle around series that were between there. But you know what? I don't know what, actually. Shall we... how many would you say, Stu? Have you got your list there?
No.
Don't fucking worry.
I'd probably say quite a lot of them were after 2000. There are a few that are probably pre-2000. But yeah, Adult Swim was used to, in America, a Cartoon Network of an evening used to change transmission, so it was Adult Swim, and then that would show more adult kind of content. So there's probably the ones that I could have put on there before 2000 would potentially be shows that you would know. And we've got shows like Rick and Morty came from Adult Swim, and Finch Brothers, and...
Am I right in saying...
He's written one down here. He's putting the dates on them, and one of them's from 2020, Stu.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that... okay.
Beef House.
Oh, yeah, that is quite a new one. Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
You fucking...
I didn't mean to derail the podcast. I forgot I'd given you that specific thing. Oh, dear. Okay.
And whilst I'm getting dates as well, I'm just going to...
Do you need dates? Do you need them?
Well, we're just writing them down now, just to see how much you've fucked us over.
I didn't realise I would derail it this much. I'm very sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just a prerequisite of the entire podcast.
Do you want to re-edit this bit so you can go, fucking caught you out? You spent ages slogging through fucking old TV programs when I've gone anywhere between fucking 2005 to 2020 so far.
Never mind.
Like right, anyway, let's get this wheel up.
So the last round is Adult Swim shows that...
Yeah!
Oh, dear. I didn't really... I just didn't think...
Evidently.
Mike, you were...
Try doing that next time.
I can't see chat right now because I'm using my screens, but has anyone said anything?
No one said a thing. They've all left. They're like, this isn't the 21st. This isn't the 20th century. What the fuck's this? I'm just waiting to see because he's just filling in the last couple, and I want to see. Right, okay, so I'm sure that's post 2000. I recognise the name.
I'd thought of loads of pre-2000 things as well, and I thought, I don't know. Like, I was going to put...
The manner now. It's done. So I'll go through your programs, which is 12 Ounce Mouse, which is 2005.
Okay.
Assy McGee, which is 2006. Beef House, which is 2020. The Drinky Crow Show, 2008. Frisky Dingo, 2006. Mary Shelley's Frankenhole, 2010. Moral Oral. Yeah, 2005. Squidbillies, 2005. Super Jail, with an exclamation mark, 2007. And Titan Maximum, which is 2009.
Anything before 2000 on there?
Adult Swim was invented in 2001.
Adult Swim was 2001? Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Under the Cartoon Network.
God. Oh.
Well, I had to go anyway. It's the thought that counts.
Hey, man,
I think this is the first time that the judge loses.
That the guest is an arsehole.
Really, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't make any difference because we still won't know what the fuck they are. And we're still going to have to come up with a load of shit. So it doesn't make any difference to the podcast. It's just a hilarious fact. At least we noticed. Because if we did we would have found out when we did our 5 minutes of research in a moment. But yeah, never mind.
I was going to say, I shouldn't have said anything, should I?
Yeah, it could have confused the fuck out of us trying to look for it. Is this a remake?
And then the two that you found, and you're like, these were 2007. I could be like, yeah, I forgot about that. The rest are done before 2000, though.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to go through each one individually, like you just have.
Okay, Ed. Sorry, it was Ed. So it's my turn this time, Stu?
No, it's Ed's. Because Ed went first, then Ed? You went last time.
Okay, brilliant. Go for it then. Ed's wheel. Tick, 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 tick. Drinky Crow Show.
Right, okay. I have the Drinky Crow Show, and Michael has...
Tick, tick, tickety, tick, 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 Dick Van Dyke. Mary Shelley's Frankenhole. Famous for being set in, 1965. Okay. Now then, as always, everyone, we are going to do our 5 minutes of research, and we will be back with you in a moment, where we try and sell these films back to Stu. He is going to judge us based on who gets it most accurately to the actual synopsis of the film, but or whatever it may be. And also, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Mary Shelley's Frankenhole. Yeah, sorry, wrong thing.
We'll be back in a minute.
On I was like, no, this was 1994. It's also a movie.
Yeah, you said movie twice, and it confused me. I was like,
It was a book.
It's not a movie. Yeah, it's a book. It was.
This is before 1960.
You've gone to the 40s now, if anything.
I see a swastika. I'm playing that video.
Okay.
Right, we ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, everyone. Round 3, we're back in the room. We have done our 5 minutes of research, and I, for one, am very looking forward to this. Let's find out which pre-2001 Adult Swim show we think is the best out of what Ed and I have. Stu, please probe us.
Okay. So I want to ask Ed about the theme tune because it's a great one for this one, but it isn't. Anything you'd know. So
yeah, it is. It's the best theme tune ever because it's my favourite comedy series from the 2000s. It goes, I'm a crow. Ah! I like to drink. Ah! I'm suicidal. It's the Drinky Crow Show. There we go.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Nice, short, simple, but it's catchy.
Am I allowed to comment on that? Oh, as if by magic, my wife has appeared with fluid. Okie dokie. So,
do you have a child?
Yeah. So, should I take it in turns with you both, or how?
Yeah, but you can make a note and then discuss the accuracies or afterwards. It's fine.
You want me to discuss it afterwards?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We don't want to be let on throughout or anything.
Right, okay.
Or
All right,
inaccuracies, whichever.
Mike,
hello.
Theme tune.
I am Frankenstein. I will go through portals. I help people, especially Hitler, and help them continue their lives. My name is Victor. My wife is fitter than you could imagine. My portals are holes through dimensions. I live in an Eastern European village, but I like pasties.
Lovely. That's yeah. Okay. So
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Right, Ed. 3 characters. Who are they?
We've got Drinky Crow, obviously the main guy. Then we've got Uncle Gabby, which is his monkey friend, and then there was another one. Oh fuck me. I mean, you know, they're all so brilliant. It's hard to choose. But then we've got I think there's another bird called Phoebe in it, and they're great. You know, yeah, they're my favourite characters ever.
Lovely, Mike.
Yeah.
Your favourite 3 characters.
Well, obviously, Victor Frankenbottom is my favourite character.
Mm-hmm.
He is the main character and protagonist of the show. I do very much like the way Hitler is portrayed in this. Not a role model, but the idea that Victor goes around helping past historical figures, it's quite good to see Hitler in need in such a crisis. So I'm going to say, just to not pick Victor, because that would be silly just to pick the main character. Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say Hitler.
Right. And the other 2?
What?
It was your favourite 3 characters?
Oh, fuck. Terry.
Terry. So,
yeah.
And your other 1?
That's 3.
Is it?
Victor.
Adolf and Terry. Okay. Ed, favourite storyline?
My favourite storyline is when so Drinky Crow, he gets dumped. It's in the very first episode, but he wants to go out on the rebound. The only person he can see is a bit of a you know, if you imagine like the drunken, not even a cougar, what's the word in America, but basically the one that no one wants to touch with a barge pole in the bar. It's that kind of woman that he thinks he's got a chance with, but he's so disgusted by it that he decides to cut his own eyeballs out, and that's the only way he will decide to go out with her, because then he doesn't have to see her.
Perfect.
It's just quite a vivid opinion of like, oh, I'm going to gouge my eyeballs out, because that's him. He's a drunken, depressed, suicidal, hopeless romantic.
Mm-hmm. So, how many more questions would you like?
Let's just do one more.
Yeah, one more.
Okay.
Just one more. But I've got a nice little bonus fact.
Okay. So I've got quite a short attention span. So I would be interested to know how many episodes there are and how long each episode is. Ed, we'll start with you.
And the episode's about 10 minutes long. Nice short episode. What was the other question?
And how many?
Oh, wow. There's been like 60 of them. 61, including a special.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike?
Well, these being, Adult Swim shorts, if you like, based on the Cartoon Network broadcasting studio. They are short. They are, I think, 14 minutes in length. They have, however, done 20 of them because there's 3 seasons taking us to 1972. And then they stopped after that just when Fawlty Towers was released.
All right. Jesus. All right, then.
Is that your link there to why it's the 60s and the 60s to the 2000s? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah. 60s to 2000.
I have a link there as well. The Drinky Crow Show was based upon a comic series in 1994. So there you go. Although this was released in 2000s, it started as a comic strip in 94.
Yeah.
Well,
Frankenhole was actually released in 2010 for anyone who wants an actual fact.
Well, okay. So,
just to clarify, Stu, we're not actually any sort of unhappy at this point, just to clarify.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Good. As long as we're clear.
I'm disappointed in myself. Not disappointed in either of you.
Right, we're trying to reel it back to the actual subject. So, no, it's fine. Honestly, it's interesting. I just realised how little Adult Swim I've ever watched, really.
Yeah. Watch it. It's great. Loads of great shows. Like I said, things like Rick and Morty, Venture Brothers, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, C-Lab 2014. Is it C-Lab 2014? There's just loads of really, really good stuff on there.
What was the one where they look like milkshakes?
Yeah.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's brilliant as well.
That's supposed to be good.
Modern Toss.
Say again?
Modern Toss.
Modern Toss wasn't
not Adult Swim?
No, that was on BBC. It was based upon like a set of once again, was it comic strips or something like that, like single picture frames? But Modern Toss, I believe they still do greetings cards and things like that.
Oh no, you're absolutely. Why am I bundling that in with Adult Swim then?
Why are you bundling that in with Adult Swim?
I remember watching it at the same time as Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like we're talking like 3 a.m. when I was staying. I didn't know they
ever repeated it. That's cool.
Well, they repeated it obviously at very antisocial hours, and I blended them together. Modern Toss. They're very good, by the way. Hi, this book I bought from you. It's fucking shit.
Yeah. So there's a lot of great stuff, and they get loads of cool. Like Eric Andre, he does a lot of stuff with Adult Swim. Bands like Mastodon, they do a lot of things with Adult Swim. And Adult Swim's got a lot of kind of almost talk shows that have a lot of cool bands play. And obviously, Tim and Eric, Adult Swim, and Beef House is a new Tim and Eric series. It's like a sitcom with men living in a house together. So anyway, that aside, Ed wins.
Wow, Ed, a clean sweep.
Fucking hell.
Jesus. He doesn't win often, but when he does, he wins big.
Mike remembered that Hitler was in it, and that was about it.
Yeah.
I was intrigued by it. I thought he was a recurring character. Is he a recurring character, Hitler?
No, he's in one episode. Every episode, he goes through portals to help people. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. He goes into different
so I got
time
that
zones.
right.
Yeah, you did.
And he's from an Eastern European village, which I said in the theme tune.
You did. I mean,
I should have fucking won on those two things alone.
Yeah, but you blew your load on the theme tune, and then it went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
speaking of theme tunes, what did you want to say about the theme tune? I made.
You weren't a million miles off because it goes the Drinky Crow Show, Drinky Crow, the drink, which you kind of ended your song on. It's the Drinky Crow Show, which is actually quite similar to the.
Does
Drinky
it make crow
Show.
noises?
He does at the end, yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
There you go.
Are you trying to imply that my one wasn't close at all?
It was, I can't remember how the Frankenol, I just remember it like, Frankenol. And I can't remember
they discuss pasties in it?
They don't discuss
Do they
pasties.
say that he likes pasties?
I have no recollection of pasties.
Yeah, okay.
That's disappointing. I don't want to watch it now.
Is it?
Unfortunately, your memories let you down a bit there.
All right, okay. Well, anyway, I enjoy it. It was a good theme tune. I mean, for a different show.
Yeah.
It was a good theme tune. But I'm sorry, Ed took the lead.
No, that's fine. On all three fucking rounds. There you go.
Was that what was fucked up? I mean, I'm going to have to look it up now because I wasn't reading anything.
Well, I don't feel bad that I lost this one at all. I think if anyone who's been watching the Pocket Knockers for any amount of time will know that Ed loves watching old shit, and Ed especially likes watching old series. So I think if Ed's going to win one a year, it's got to be this one.
Can I make a special shout out for a series that is apparently what's supposed to be one of the worst series ever? Not as because of the crudeness of Bottle Boys, but it's supposed to be because you mentioned Are You Being Served earlier. Yeah. You've got Molly Sugden, who is in Are You Being Served? You know, the one who keeps going on about her pussy. But during a break for Are You Being Served, the creators came up with a series called Come Back Mrs. Noah, where she won like a Cookery of the Year award or something, and her treat was to go and see this space station that they were about to launch that was going to go on a long journey. It's set in 2050, but she ends up in there with a bunch of other people, with about 4 other people, and then she just gets sent into orbit around the Earth. So it's really odd. So it's got that kind of little slight sci-fi element with weird cultural really references of what, you know, it's a parody of what they expect the future to be like. It wasn't terrible. I ended up watching 3-4 episodes of it because I thought I wanted to say, yeah, it's shit and bring it into it, but I couldn't see it's brilliant because it's nowhere near brilliant, but it's a bit silly. There are clips of it on YouTube. I think, yeah, it's worth a watch, but it's supposed to be bad, but maybe I'd like bad stuff sometimes. It's one of those good bad type things.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds weird. Does she refer to stroking her pussy a lot?
No, she doesn't. She's actually quite a likable character in this, I found. Rather than, because I fucking hate her character. You know,
maybe it was comeuppance for her character in Are You Being Served?
Maybe, but they just thought they would find something, you know, they brought her into it just to fill the gap between the two series of Are You Being Served? And yeah, I mean, the pilot was in December, and then they brought the rest of the series out in July. You could tell they redid the sets and everything. But
yeah.
I spoke to somebody, Fizbin, who's often in chat. He says he remembers seeing it first time round, and he thought, God, this is awful. Maybe it's the datedness of it that we like. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. They parodied her in Filthy Rich and Cat Flap.
Yes.
She's on the version of Blankety Blank.
Yeah.
And yeah. It's good episode. Filthy Rich and Cat Flap. If you've not seen it, it's the hidden gem between the young ones and Bottom.
It really is, yeah. It's hard to explain because you try and tell people to watch it and then you set high hopes. Don't go in with overly high hopes. Don't think, it's going to be, you can't believe that no one ever talks about this, because you can't believe no one ever talks about it. It doesn't mean it's better than Bottom or Young Ones, but it's still good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the worst of the three, but if you do like their writing, then it'll be up your alley.
Yeah.
Loads and loads of 80s comedians in it. Loads.
Yeah.
Smith and Jones, Chris Barry, loads, all of them. All of those three.
All of the three.
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry, Mike. Hi.
No, you carry on. I'm happy. I was just going through those our lists, just to see what I have watched and not. Just to clarify, I haven't watched Are You Being Served in at least 20 years. So that means both. I've not seen any from your shit list. So that means both our shit lists, basically, I've never seen. Obviously, I've never seen anything that Stu mentioned.
Yeah.
I've never watched The Young Ones. I watched Steptoe's Son when I was, maybe like 10. So, like basically 20 years ago. I've never watched One Foot in the Grave, Porridge. I have watched Opal Hours, but not for at least 10 years. I have watched Blackadder. I've never watched Monty Python's Flying Circus. I have watched Only Fools and Horses. Not watched Mork and Mindy. I have watched Brass Eye. But I haven't watched anything on this entire spreadsheet in the last 5 years.
So one of the ones I suggested to you for a bad one was Heil Honey, I'm Home.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you've seen that one, Stu.
I haven't seen it, but I am aware of it.
They did one episode of it, and it's imagine like the Love Thy Neighbor setting again, except the one family is Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun, who live next door to a Jewish couple. And so, it's odd. I think they were really going for the edgy side of it. It was supposed to be a parody of that style, I guess. But immediately they went, they did the one episode, and then the rest of it was never aired. Everyone just fucking hit the roof and went, you can't fucking do this. And it was scrapped.
Hitler wasn't played by Kevin Alden, was he?
No, this is 1990. Neil McCall. I don't know.
Neil Morrissey. I thought you were going to say that. Neil Morrissey plays Adolf Hitler. Neil McCall. Okay.
So, very quickly. Yeah, in 1938, Hitler and Eva Braun lived in Berlin next door to a Jewish couple, Amy and Rosa Goldstein. They have little in common with them. Hitler, for example, appears in a golfing sweater and cravat, as well as military garb. The show is a spoof, not of the Third Reich, but of the sort of sitcoms produced in the US between the 50s and the 70s that would embrace the idea no matter how stupid. So that's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be kind of like, that's how ridiculous these kind of sitcoms in the US are supposed to be. They all had New York accents, for instance. I think it was just not. What's the poorly executed? I guess is
bad. Churn a phrase there.
Yeah,
I guess it was actually.
Kevin Alden played Hitler in Big Train. Sorry,
it was shown at 9:30 p.m. on a Sunday after an episode of Dad's Army.
Perfect target. It might be a perfect target audience, actually.
Well, yeah.
That was when it was it was commissioned by television channel Galaxy, part of Sky, and it's shown at 9:30 p.m. on a Sunday after an episode of Dad's Army. During the credits of Dad's Army, the announcer said, "And unless Arthur Lowe defeats him, it's the man himself in a few moments in Heil Honey, I'm home."
Oh my God!
Yeah, there we go.
Excellent.
So we had some good stuff. Some good stuff. That was an excellent one. That was. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a good laugh.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was a challenge.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I will go with that. I would say it's probably the most challenging one we've ever done.
Yeah.
For me personally, it's well out of my ballpark.
Well, I was originally going to go for comedians.
I don't think I would have been able to make 10. I mean,
yeah. But that could have been potentially quite difficult, especially coming up with 10 comedians and then you having to describe them.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that would work.
He's got big ears and he sweats a lot.
I dreamt about Lee Evans the night before last. That's weird.
Don't we all?
You broke my dream.
Were you sweating after that?
I was sweating after that, yeah. I got a suit on in bed, soaking.
Just wrapped up in a sleeping bag.
That's right, yeah. Gaffer tape to the bed.
Going back to Jackass now.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone, thank you very much for listening. This has been series from the 1960s to 2010 with Stu the Brummie. You can find everything he's done and doing on stewthebrummie.com. And as mentioned earlier in the podcast, 10-hour timestamp is a personal favourite of mine. Check that shit out. Stu, anything else to add to that?
No, thank you very much for having me. I am available for work of all varieties. If people want any music or voiceover or writing or anything, just shout. I like work.
Where should people shout you at?
On Twitter mainly. Give me a shout on Twitter or... the details are on stewthebrummie.com. I should probably link to my email on there, but no, I'll get weird emails then. But yeah.
When do they can't contact you if you haven't put an email down? Visit the website.
It's Twitter.
Look at it.
I expect, that's a good point. Maybe I should set up an email address specifically for stewthebrummiework@gmail.com, potentially.
Oh shit, it's taken.
Never mind. Oh. No, seriously, thank you both for having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Loved it.
It's been lovely to meet you. I've heard your voice for quite a few hours now. So it's good to actually meet you and get to know who you are. A liar!
A liar and a fraud.
Yeah. Ed, anything you'd like to add?
No, it's one I've really enjoyed because I'd love talking about just comedy sitcoms, especially when it comes to British stuff. I tried to throw some American stuff, which is good because we had My Mother the Car. That was great. But no, I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Good stuff. Okay, everyone. Then from all of us, it's a goodbye. And we're sorry for talking about Hitler so much. Bye.
Bye.